I recall, too, that there was no human habitation whatever on the west bank. What shall we do this time? I thought that only profane people would practice this sort of fraud. Said 8 Rules. Now I know that even the Vara guardians before the face of Buddha can practice fraud. Buddha commanded them to take us back east. How could they just abandon us in mid-journey? Now we're in quite a bind. How are we going to get across? Stop grumbling, second elder brother. Said Sha Monk. Our master has already attained the way, for he had already been delivered from his mortal frame previously at the cloud-transcending ferry. This time he can't possibly sink in water. Let's all of us exercise our magic of displacement and take master across. You can't take him over. You can't take him over. Said Pilgrim, chuckling to himself. Now, why did he say that? If he were willing to exercise his magic powers and reveal the mystery of flight, master and disciples could cross even 1,000 rivers. He knew, however, that the Tang monk had not yet perfected the sacred number of 9 times 9. That one remaining ordeal made it necessary for them to be detained at the spot. As master and disciples conversed and walked slowly up to the edge of the water, they suddenly heard someone calling. Tang Sage Monk. Tang Sage Monk. Come this way. Come this way. Startled, the 4 of them looked all around, but could not see any sign of a human being or a boat. Then they caught sight of a huge, white, scabby-headed turtle at the shoreline. Old master. He cried with outstretched neck. I have waited for you for so many years. Have you returned only at this time? Old turtle. Replied Pilgrim, smiling. We troubled you in a year past, and today we meet again. Tripitaka, 8 Rules, and Sha Monk could not have been more pleased. If indeed you want to serve us, said Pilgrim, come up on the shore. The turtle crawled up the bank. Pilgrim told his companions to guide the horse onto the turtle's back. As before, 8 Rules squatted at the rear of the horse, while the Tang monk and Sha monk took up positions to the left and to the right of the horse. With one foot on the turtle's head and another on his neck, Pilgrim said, Old turtle, go steadily. His 4 legs outstretched, the old turtle moved through the water as if he were on dry level ground, carrying all 5 of them, master, disciples, and the horse, straight toward the eastern shore. Thus it is that in Advaya's gate will Dharma profound reveal heaven and earth and demons confound. The original visage now they see. Causes find perfection in one body. Freely they move when Triyana's one. And when the elixir's 9 turns are done, the luggage and the staff there's no need to tote. Glad to return on old turtle afloat. Carrying the pilgrims on his back, the old turtle trod on the waves and proceeded for more than half a day. Late in the afternoon, they were near the eastern shore when he suddenly asked this question. Old master, in that year when I took you across, I begged you to question Tathagata, once you got to see him, when I would find my sought-after refuge and how much longer would I live. Did you do that? Now, that elder, since his arrival at the western heaven, had been preoccupied with bathing in the Jade Perfection Abbey, being renewed at cloud-transcending ferry, and bowing to the various sage monks, bodhisattvas, and Buddhas. When he walked up the Spirit Mountain, he fixed his thought on the worship of Buddha and on the acquisition of scriptures, completely banishing from his mind all other concerns. He did not, of course, ask about the allotted age of the old turtle. Not daring to lie, however, he fell silent and did not answer the question for a long time. Perceiving that Tripitaka had not asked the Buddha for him, the old turtle shook his body once and dove with a splash into the depths. The 4 pilgrims, the horse, and the scriptures all fell into the water as well. Ah, it was fortunate that the Tang monk had cast off his mortal frame and attained the way. If he were like the person he had been before, he would have sunk straight to the bottom. The white horse, moreover, was originally a dragon, while 8 Rules and Sha monk both were quite at home in the water. Smiling broadly, Pilgrim made a great display of his magic powers by hauling the Tang monk right out of the water and onto the eastern shore. But the scriptures, the clothing, and the saddle were completely soaked. Master and disciples had just climbed up the riverbank when suddenly a violent gale arose. The sky darkened immediately, and both thunder and lightning began as rocks and grit flew everywhere. What they felt was one gust of wind, and the whole world teetered. One clap of thunder, and both mountains and streams shuddered. One flash of lightning shot flames through the clouds. One sky of fog enveloped this great earth. The wind's mighty howl, the thunder's violent roar, the lightning's scarlet streaks, the fog blanking moon and stars. The wind hurled dust and dirt at their faces. The thunder sent tigers and leopards into hiding. The lightning raised among the fowl a ruckus. The fog made the woods and trees disappear. That wind caused waves in the heaven-reaching river to toss and churn. That lightning lit up the heaven-reaching river down to its bottom. That thunder terrified the heaven-reaching river's dragons and fishes. That fog covered the shores of heaven-reaching river with a shroud of darkness. Marvelous wind. Mountains cracked as pines and bamboos toppled. Marvelous thunder. Its power stirred insects and injured humans. Marvelous lightning. Like a gold snake, it brightened both land and sky. Marvelous fog. It surged through the air to screen the ninefold heaven. So terrified were the pilgrims that Tripitaka held firmly to the scripture wraps and Shamunk threw himself on the poles. While 8 Rules clung to the white horse, Pilgrim wielded his iron rod with both hands to give protection left and right. That wind, fog, thunder, and lightning, you see, had been a storm brought on by invisible demons, who wanted to snatch away the scriptures the pilgrims had acquired. The commotion lasted all night, and only by morning did the storm subside. Soaked from top to bottom, and shaking all over, the elder said, "Wukong, how did this storm come about?" "Master, you don't seem to understand," said Pilgrim, panting heavily. "That when we escorted you to acquire these scriptures, we had, in fact, robbed heaven and earth of their creative powers. For our success meant that we could share the age of the universe. Like the light of the sun and moon, we would enjoy life everlasting, for we had put on an incorruptible body. Our success, however, had also incurred the envy of heaven and earth, the jealousy of both demons and gods, who wanted to snatch away the scriptures from us. They could not do so only because the scriptures were thoroughly wet and because they had been shielded by your rectified Dharma body, which could not be harmed by thunder, lightning, or fog. Moreover, Old Monkey was brandishing his iron rod to exercise the nature of pure Yang and give you protection. Now that it is morning, the forces of Yang are evermore in ascendancy, and the demons cannot prevail." Only then did Tripitaka, 8 Rules, and Shamunk realize what had taken place, and they all thanked Pilgrim repeatedly. In a little while, the sun was way up in the sky, and they moved the scriptures to high ground so that the wraps could be opened and their contents dried. To this day, the boulders have remained on which the scriptures were spread out and sunned. By the side of the boulders, they also spread out their own clothing and shoes. As they stood, sat, or jumped about, truly this was their situation. The one pure Yang body, facing the light, has put invisible demons all to flight. Know that true scriptures will o'er water prevail. They fear not the thunder and lightning assail. Henceforth to Sambodhi they'll go in peace, and to fairy land they'll return with ease. Rocks for sunning scriptures are still found here, though no demon would ever dare come near. The 4 of them were examining the scriptures scroll by scroll to see if they had completely dried when some fishermen arrived at the shore. When they saw the pilgrims, one of the fishermen recognized them and said, "Old masters, aren't you the ones who crossed this river some years ago on your way to the western heaven to seek scriptures?" "Indeed, we are," replied 8 Rules. "Where are you from? How is it that you recognize us?" "We are from the Chen village," said the fisherman. "How far is the village from here?" asked 8 Rules. The fisherman said, "Due south of this canal, about 20 miles. "Master," said 8 Rules, Let's move the scriptures to the Chin village and dry them there. They have a place for us to sit and food for us to eat. We can even ask their family to starch our clothing. Isn't that better than staying here? Let's not go there," replied Tripitaka. "As soon as the scriptures are dried here, we can collect them and be on our way." The fishermen, however, went back south of the canal and ran right into Chin. Number 2. They cried. "The masters who offered themselves as sacrifice substitutes for your children years ago have returned. Where did you see them?" asked Chin. Pointing with their hands, the fishermen said, "Near the boulders over there, where they're sunning scrolls of scriptures." Chin took some of his farm hands and ran past the canal. When he caught sight of the pilgrims, he hurriedly went to his knees and said, "Venerable fathers, now that you have returned, having accomplished your work and merit of acquiring scriptures, why did you not come straight to our home? Why are you loitering here instead? Please come to our home. Wait till we've dried the scriptures in the sun," said Pilgrim. "And we'll go with you." "How is it?" asked Chin again. "That the clothing and scriptures of the venerable fathers are soaking wet. In that previous year,